You are standing in 2 inches of brown water, watching a $6,000 commercial washer spark and die. It is 4:47 in the morning on a Tuesday, and every machine in your laundromat, all 48 of them, is sitting in a lake. The water main under the foundation cracked sometime around midnight, and by the time your alarm company called you, the damage was done. $43,000. That is the number your contractor will give you in about 9 hours, and it will be generous. Your insurance adjuster will take 11 days to return your call. Here is what you do not know yet, standing barefoot in that water because you forgot to grab boots on the way out. 2 of those decisions you will make in the next 72 hours. The ones that feel reckless, that your wife will argue against until 1 a.m., that every laundromat forum online will tell you are suicide, those 2 decisions will produce the most profitable quarter this business has ever seen. And there is something else. One of your regular customers, a quiet woman named Diane, who has been doing 4 loads every Thursday since before you bought this place, is about to hand you a business opportunity worth more than the laundromat itself. But you will not recognize it the first time she offers. You will actually say no. This is the story of how a flooded laundromat in a strip mall off Route 9 became a $590,000 a year business, throwing off more than $200,000 in profit, and how every catastrophe along the way was a door you almost did not walk through. Let us go back to the beginning. 14 months before the flood, you are a regional manager for a logistics company, pulling down $94,000 a year plus a car allowance. You manage a warehouse and 19 employees. The job is fine, the money is decent. But you have been doing this for 8 years, and the ceiling is visible. Your boss is 44, healthy, and shows no signs of leaving. You will be in this exact chair with this exact title when you are 45. You have $127,000 saved. Your wife makes $62,000 as a dental hygienist. No kids yet. A 2-bedroom apartment in a suburb 30 minutes outside of the city. You have been thinking about owning something for 3 years, and lately that thinking has gotten louder. You find yourself calculating things during meetings. If your savings earned 15% a year instead of sitting in an index fund growing at 8%, how many years to $1 million? If you bought a rental property, what would the cash flow look like? You sketch business models on the backs of warehouse manifests during lunch. The itch is not about money, not entirely. It is about control. In your warehouse, you execute someone else's decisions. You optimize their supply chain. You hire and fire for their bottom line. You are good at it. Your warehouse runs 12% more efficiently than the company average, and nobody cares. Not really. Your bonus last year was $4,200, which is 4.5% of salary, which is the same percentage everyone got. You want to be the person whose decisions matter, whose effort compounds into something you own. Your wife understands this. She also worries about it. You have a stable job with benefits, she says one Sunday, while you're reading a business broker newsletter at the kitchen table. Health insurance, a 401k match. These things matter. She is right. These things do matter. And they also feel like golden handcuffs, which is a phrase you do not say out loud because she will roll her eyes. You look at franchises first. Subway wants $350,000 all in, and the average unit generates $450,000 in revenue with razor-thin margins. A janitorial franchise wants $150,000, but the territory is already saturated. 4 operators within 12 miles. You look at vending routes, car washes, storage units, pet grooming businesses. Everything either costs too much, requires too many employees, or has margins thinner than the brochure suggests. Then your barber mentions laundromats. It is a Thursday evening. You are getting your regular cut, the one you have been getting for 6 years because you found a barber you trust, and there is no reason to change. His name is Carlos. He says his cousin bought a laundromat 5 years ago and now owns 3. Cash business, mostly unattended, recession-proof. People always need clean clothes. Carlos does not know the details. How much his cousin paid, what the returns are, what the day-to-day looks like. But that phrase, people always need clean clothes, sticks in your head. It is the kind of simple truth that either means nothing or means everything. You start researching that night. You are still in your work clothes, sitting at the kitchen table with your laptop open, and you go down a rabbit hole that will last 3 weeks. The Coin Laundry Association reports the U.S. laundromat industry generates around $5 billion in annual revenue. There are roughly 30,000 coin laundries in the country. The failure rate sits under 5%, lower than almost any other small business category. Average net income ranges wildly from $15,000 to over $300,000, depending on size, location, and how well the store is run. Most laundromats sell for 3 to 5 times annual net income, which means a store making $80,000 a year costs $240,000 to $400,000. The more you dig, the more the economics make sense. A typical customer spends $8 to $15 per visit. Utility costs eat 30 to 35% of revenue. There is no inventory, no accounts receivable, no complicated supply chain, no spoilage, no fashion seasons, no technology obsolescence. Customers pay before they use the service. The machines do the work. And, unlike a restaurant or a retail store, a laundromat does not require you to be charming or creative. It requires you to keep machines running and floors clean. You read forums. Planet Laundry, the CLA community boards, Reddit threads from laundromat owners who are either evangelical or exhausted, sometimes both. You learn the vocabulary, vend price, turn rate, retool cycle, route account. You learn that the biggest expense after utilities is equipment replacement. Commercial washers last 10 to 15 years, dryers a bit longer, and a full retool of a 30-machine store costs $150,000 to $250,000. But there is a catch, and you will learn it the hard way. Laundromats are simple, but simple is not the same as easy. You spend 6 weeks looking at listings, Biz Buy Sell, LoopNet, local business brokers. Most laundromats for sale fall into 2 categories: well-run operations priced at 4 to 5 times earnings that you cannot afford, or neglected stores with cloudy financials that could be gold mines or money pits. You find yours on a Tuesday. A broker named Steve emails you a listing, 2,400 square feet in a strip mall off Route 9 between a dollar store and a Chinese restaurant. 28 washers, 20 dryers. The owner is 71 and retiring. He has run it for 19 years. Asking price? $285,000. The P&L he provides shows $247,000 in annual revenue and $78,000 in net income. But the numbers feel soft. Some expenses are missing. There is no line item for repairs, which is suspicious for a store with equipment ranging from 8 to 16 years old. The utility costs look low. The miscellaneous category is suspiciously round at exactly $3,000 per year. You ask Steve, the broker, about the seller's tax returns. Steve says the owner prefers not to share them. This is a red flag the color of a fire engine, and you almost walk away. But you schedule a tour instead. You visit the store on a Saturday morning at 10 a.m., which you have learned from forums is the busiest time for most laundromats. 14 of the 28 washers are running, a decent turn rate. The floor is cracked vinyl, stained in places where water has pooled and dried for years. The folding tables have cigarette burns and wobbly legs. 3 of the dryers have handwritten out-of-order signs taped to them with masking tape that has turned yellow. The change machine takes bills but jams on anything wrinkled, which is most bills. The bathroom looks like it belongs in a gas station from a horror movie, but the parking lot is full. That is the detail that matters. The neighborhood is dense. Apartment complex is visible from the front door. A mobile home park half a mile east. A dense cluster of rental housing spreading out in every direction. The nearest competitor is 2.3 miles away. And people are here, doing their laundry, feeding quarters into machines, folding clothes on tables that wobble. You sit in your car in the parking lot for 2 hours after the tour and count customers. Between 10 a.m. and noon, 41 distinct people enter the store. Some stay 20 minutes for a quick dryer load. Some stay 2 hours for a full wash-dry fold. The average customer uses 1.6 machines. You multiply this out in your head. 41 customers times dollars, 10 average spend, times 6 peak hours per day, times 7 days a week. The math suggests revenue could be higher than the P&L claims. Or the P&L is right and the store has untapped capacity. Either way, you see past the cosmetics and into the mechanics. This is a store with demand, not supply. The infrastructure is tired, but the customer base is real. You hire an equipment inspector, a retired Dexter dealer named Harold, who charges $400 for a full store evaluation. Harold opens every machine, checks bearings, motors, belts, pumps, drainage, and electrical connections. His report takes 3 days. He finds 4 washers with bearing issues that will fail within 6 months, 2 dryers with failed heating elements, a water heater that should have been replaced 3 years ago, and drainage pipes that are partially calcified with mineral deposits. His estimate for deferred maintenance? $22,000 to $34,000. His verbal assessment? The bones are good. The owner just stopped caring 5 years ago. You go back to the broker with a counteroffer, $210,000, citing Harold's maintenance report. The seller counters at $260,000 with a note that the maintenance is cosmetic. You counter at $230,000. He counters at $245,000. You settle at $235,000, with the seller carrying a $50,000 note at 6% over 5 years. The rest comes from your savings and an SBA 7A loan. The SBA process takes 6 weeks. You provide tax returns, bank statements, a business plan you wrote yourself over 3 weekends, and a personal financial statement. The loan officer asks you 19 questions, requests 12 clarifications, and calls you twice to ask the same question she already asked by email. You understand, intellectually, that this is due diligence. Emotionally, it feels like a proctological exam performed by committee. The loan is approved for $94,000 at 7.5% over 10 years. Total out-of-pocket at closing, $91,000 in cash, plus the SBA loan of $94,000, plus the seller note of $50,000. All in, you are buying a laundromat for $235,000 and putting another $30,000 aside for immediate repairs and working capital. Closing day is a Wednesday. You and your wife sit in the broker's office and sign 47 documents. The seller, a man named Ed, who smells like pipe tobacco and has a handshake like a vice, gives you a ring with 7 keys and says, "Treat her right, and she will take care of you." Your wife is quiet in the car afterward. Not angry. She agreed to this. She has seen the numbers. She trusts the plan. But quiet in the way that people are quiet when the parachute is strapped on and the plane door is open and there is nothing left to discuss. This is really happening. You keep your logistics job. That is the plan. Run the laundromat around your day job for the first 6 months. Build up cash flow. Then decide whether to go full-time. Ed, the previous owner, stays 1 week to show you the ropes. Here is what he teaches you. The water heater is temperamental. You need to bleed the pilot light every other Monday, or it goes out. And when it goes out on a Saturday morning, you will have 40 angry customers washing their clothes in cold water. He demonstrates the bleeding process, which involves holding a screwdriver at a specific angle while pressing a recessed button with your other hand, while kneeling on a concrete floor in a utility closet that is 97 degrees. You practice it 3 times until your hands remember. 3 of the washers take longer to drain than the others. Customers know this and avoid them. You'll need to re-pipe the drainage manifold eventually, but for now, just keep the baskets slightly tilted so gravity helps. Ed shows you how to wedge a folded cardboard shim under the front left foot of each problem machine. It is the kind of fix that would horrify an engineer and works perfectly. The change machine eats wrinkled bills. Iron the 5s and 10s before loading them. Yes, he is serious. He shows you the small travel iron he keeps in the back office for this purpose. You think he is joking. He is not joking. The homeless man named Gerald, who sleeps in the parking lot on Thursday nights, is harmless. Leave him alone and he will leave your customers alone. Give him a roll of quarters at Christmas and he will watch the lot for you all year. Gerald has been there longer than Ed has owned the store. He is part of the ecosystem. Ed hands you the 7 keys, the spiral notebook with handwritten equipment notes going back to 2014, and a handshake. Then he drives away in a pickup truck with a camper on the back, heading to Florida. He does not look back. You watch him turn onto Route 9 and disappear, and you realize that everything he knew about this store, 19 years of knowledge, every quirk of every machine, every customer's name, just drove away. You are now a laundromat owner. Your first week is disorienting. You have been managing a warehouse with 19 employees. Schedules, logistics, efficiency metrics, performance reviews, quarterly reports. Now you are mopping a floor at 6 a.m. before driving to your real job, and your only employee is a part-time attendant named Ray, who works Tuesday through Saturday, noon to close, for $14 an hour. Ray is 53. He has been working at this laundromat for 7 years. He did not apply for the job. Ed hired him because Ray was a regular customer who started fixing a jammed dryer one day and proved he knew how machines worked. Ray is quiet, reliable, and slightly territorial about the store. He does not love that there is a new owner. He especially does not love that the new owner keeps asking questions. But Ray knows more about running this store than you will learn in a year. He knows which machines are about to break by the sound they make during the spin cycle. A healthy washer hums, a failing bearing whines, and a pump about to die clicks. He knows which customers will try to overload a machine and which ones will leave their clothes in a dryer for 3 hours. He knows the water pressure drops on Wednesday mornings when the fire department runs hydrant tests down the block. He knows that the fluorescent light in the back row flickers when it rains because there is a leak in the roof above it that Ed never fixed. You listen to Ray. This is one of the smartest things you do, not because Ray is always right, but because he is always informed. He has 7 years of pattern recognition that your spreadsheets cannot capture. By the end of your first full month, you pull the real numbers. Revenue, $19,400. Not the $20,500 the seller's P&L implied as a monthly average, but close enough to not be a lie. Utilities, $6,280, higher than the seller reported by about $800 a month, because he conveniently excluded the water bill spike that happens every summer when customers do more laundry and the cooling system runs harder. Rent, $3,200, locked in for 2 more years on the existing lease. Insurance, $340. Raise wages, $2,240. Supplies, soap, bags, cleaning products, $380. Loan payments, SBA plus seller note, $1,840. Net before your own compensation, $4,920. Annualized, that is, $59,040. Not the $78,000 the seller claimed, but not a disaster either. The gap comes from 3 places: the deferred maintenance eating into revenue through broken machines, the utility costs that were underreported, and a softness in foot traffic that you suspect is seasonal. Winter is slower, summer is faster. Classic small business sale dynamics. The financials are accurate enough to pass scrutiny, but the seller knows where the numbers get generous. You fix the 4 washers with bearing issues yourself. YouTube tutorials from a channel called Laundry Parts Pro. A torque wrench you buy at Harbor Freight for $34, and 3 weekends of dirty, frustrating work. Total parts cost, $1,400. The first bearing replacement takes you 4 hours. By the 4th machine, you can do it in 90 minutes. You replace the heating elements in the 2 dead dryers, $600 in parts, 2 hours of work per machine. You call a plumber for the water heater and he quotes $2,100 for a new unit because the old one is not worth repairing. You wince, approve it, and watch the plumber install a unit that heats water in half the time and uses 20% less gas. Those 3 dead dryers were costing you $200 to $300 a month in lost revenue. Customers who walked in saw the out-of-order signs and walked out. The washers with bad bearings were driving away customers who did not want to listen to them scream during the spin cycle. A laundromat is supposed to be white noise. the hum of machines, the tumble of clothes, the gentle beep when a cycle finishes. A failing bearing sounds like a dentist's drill inside a metal trash can. Within 6 weeks of fixing the equipment, your monthly revenue ticks up to $21,200. That is $1,800 more per month, $21,600 per year, from $4,100 in parts and your own labor. Small improvements, compounding returns. This is the laundromat game. But you're about to learn that the laundromat game has another dimension, one that the seller never mentioned, the broker glossed over, and the Coin Laundry Association statistics do not capture. And it starts at 5:45 on a Monday morning, when you find your back door pried open for the first time. Your store closes at 10 p.m. Ray locks up, kills the lights, except for the security spots, and drives home. Theoretically, nobody enters until you open at 6 a.m. Theoretically. Week 3 of ownership, you arrive at 5:45 a.m. and find the back door pried open. The lock is twisted sideways, the door frame splintered where someone used a pry bar. Nothing is stolen. What would they take? A 40-pound commercial washer? But someone slept inside. There are fast food wrappers on the folding table, a blanket wadded up behind the last row of dryers, and the bathroom is a wreck. You clean it up before any customers arrive, fix the door frame with wood filler and screws, and install a better lock. Cost $180 and 2 hours of your morning. It gets pried again 2 weeks later. Same technique, same mess. You install a steel security door with a commercial-grade deadbolt and a reinforced frame. Cost $640. That holds. Week 6. A customer puts a king-size bedspread loaded with playground gravel into one of your top loaders. The gravel gets past the drum seal, clogs the pump intake, tilts the drum off balance, and the machine floods the floor with muddy water. Repair cost? $1,100 for a new pump, new seal, and 2 hours of a technician's time, because this one is beyond your YouTube-educated skill level. You put up a sign. No gravel, no sand, no rocks in machines. You will learn that signs in a laundromat are like terms of service on a website. Nobody reads them. Week 9. You find a used needle on the bathroom floor. You stand there looking at it for a long time, wearing rubber gloves, holding a sharps container you bought at the pharmacy that morning. This is not what the business plan described. You install the sharps container on the bathroom wall and start cleaning the bathroom twice a day instead of once. You also install a combination lock on the bathroom door. Customers ask at the counter for the code. This reduces the problem by about 80%. Week 12. 2 customers get into a loud argument over a dryer. Customer A put his clothes in first. Customer B removed them because the cycle was done and they'd been sitting there for 30 minutes. Customer A returns, finds his damp clothes on the folding table, and confronts Customer B. The argument escalates. Customer A throws a bottle of bleach. It does not hit Customer B, it hits the dryer next to him, bounces off, and splashes 3 loads of clothing belonging to Customer C, who was minding her own business in the corner. You end up paying $180 in damage claims to Customer C to avoid the headache. Customer A and Customer B both leave. Customer A never comes back. Customer B comes back the following week as if nothing happened. None of this is in the brochure. The industry statistics say laundromats have a sub 5% failure rate, and that is true. But what they do not tell you is that surviving means dealing with the reality of running a semi-public space in a working-class neighborhood, 16 hours a day, 7 days a week. Your laundromat is not just a business. It is a community utility. It is one of the few remaining spaces where anyone can walk in off the street, no reservation, no membership, no credit check, and use a service they need to survive. A laundromat serves single mothers at 6 a.m., construction workers at 7 p.m., college students at midnight. Have you ever thought about what kind of business serves everyone, literally everyone, regardless of income, background, or circumstances? A laundromat is one of the last truly democratic businesses in America. And that is both its greatest strength and its most persistent challenge. 5 months in, you sit down with your spreadsheet and face a truth you have been avoiding. Your vend prices, the amount you charge per wash and dry cycle, have not changed since 2019. The previous owner set them and never touched them because he did not want the confrontation. Top load wash, $3.50. Front load wash, $5.50. Dryer, $0.25 per 6 minutes. You check competitor prices, industry averages, and the CLA's annual pricing survey. Your prices are 20 to 30% below market rate for your area. A comparable laundromat 2 towns over charges $4.50 for a top load and $7.00 for a front load. You know why Ed never raised them. He was 71, tired, running on autopilot for his last 5 years of ownership. Raising prices in a laundromat means putting up new stickers on every machine, reprogramming the coin mechanisms or card readers, and then weathering the inevitable 2 to 3 weeks of angry customers who feel personally betrayed by the increase. Ed did not have the energy to weather that dip. But you are bleeding margin. Your utility costs are climbing. Natural gas is up 11% year over year. Water rates went up in January, and the electric company has announced a rate increase effective July. If you hold prices, your net income shrinks every month. You will be working harder to earn less. That is not a business. That is a treadmill. You run the math 3 different ways. A $0.75 increase on top loaders and a $1.00 increase on front loaders would generate an additional $3,800 to $4,200 per month in revenue, assuming a 10% drop in customer volume from price-sensitive customers leaving. Best case, $4,200 more per month, $50,400 per year. Worst case, a 20% drop in volume, which would still net positive by $1,600 per month, because the remaining customers are paying more per load. You raise prices on a Monday. You put up new price cards on every machine 2 weeks in advance, so nobody is surprised. Ray thinks you're making a mistake. Ed never raised prices, he says, which is exactly the problem. Here is what you do not expect. The drop is only 4%. Not 10, not 20, 4%. You lose a handful of customers who were coming specifically because you were the cheapest option in the area. But the rest, the regulars, the families, the people who value a clean and functional store over saving 75 cents, they barely blink. Some of them tell you the increase was overdue. One woman named Patricia says, Honey, everything costs more. At least your machines work.
Monthly revenue jumps from $21,200 to $24,600. Net income goes from $59,000 annualized to roughly $78,000. You are now making what the seller originally claimed, but only because you did the work he would not do. This is a turning point, and not just financially. You realize something about laundromat customers that will shape every decision you make going forward. They are not price shoppers. They are convenience shoppers. They want a clean store, working machines, and a reasonable experience. Price is third on the list, maybe fourth. If your store is clean and your machines work, most customers will pay a fair price without complaint. The customers you lose to a price increase were never loyal to begin with. They were loyal to your low prices, which is not the same thing. This insight will save you when the competition arrives. 7 months in, you quit your logistics job. You write the resignation letter on a Sunday night, sitting in the back office of the laundromat after spending 2 hours reprogramming the card system. Your boss takes it well. He saw it coming. Your co-workers throw you a small going-away lunch and give you a gift card to a hardware store, which is actually the most useful going-away present you have ever received. The math works. The laundromat is netting $78,000. Your wife still makes $62,000. And you are already spending 20 hours a week on the store anyway, around your day job. Going full-time means you can execute the renovation you have been planning since month 2. It also means giving up health insurance, a 401k match, paid vacation, and the psychological safety net of a guaranteed paycheck. Your wife handles the insurance. She adds you to her plan through the dental office. The 401k match hurts to lose. The paid vacation is theoretical anyway, since you have not taken a real day off in 7 months. Total renovation budget, $64,000. You have been working on the plan for 4 months, getting quotes, comparing equipment, running financial projections. Here is the breakdown. New vinyl plank flooring, $4,800, installed. The current floor is cracked vinyl from 2007 that pools water in the low spots and looks like a public restroom. New folding tables, commercial grade, stainless steel tops, $3,200 for 6 tables that will not wobble, burn, or stain. Repaint interior, $2,600 for a professional job. Light grey walls, white ceiling, accent wall behind the counter in a warm blue. Replace fluorescent lighting with LED panels, $1,800, which also cuts your electric bill by $120 per month. New signage, exterior and interior, $2,400 for an illuminated sign visible from Route 9 and interior wayfinding. Card payment system, $18,000 for Spider Wash, a full retrofit across all 48 machines. This is the big one. Replace 8 oldest washers with new Dexter T600 commercial front loaders. $28,000 for machines that use 40% less water, 30% less energy. Spin at higher RPMs so clothes come out drier and need less dryer time and have a 25-year expected lifespan. New security cameras, 8 cameras plus a DVR with remote viewing, $3,200. You finance $40,000 of it through an equipment loan at 7.2%. The rest comes from operating cash flow. The card system is the single best investment you will make. A coin-operated laundromat
loses 8 to 12% of potential revenue to coin handling, broken change machines, customers who leave because they do not have quarters, coins that jam or get miscounted, and the time you spend counting, sorting, and depositing coins every day. Card systems eliminate all of that. They also let you adjust pricing remotely, track machine usage in real time, run loyalty programs, and give customers the option to add value to their cards with a credit card or smartphone. But there is a second benefit that the card system vendors downplay because it sounds manipulative, but is actually just economics. When customers pay with a card, they spend more. Not because you trick them. The prices are posted clearly on every machine. They spend more because the psychological friction of feeding quarters into a slot is gone. A customer who might skip the extra rinse cycle because it costs another $0.75 in quarters will tap a card without thinking. A customer who might leave clothes slightly damp because another 12 minutes in the dryer costs $0.50 will let the dryer run. Average revenue per customer visit goes up 15 to 20% after a card conversion. This is documented across the industry. You do the renovation in 2 phases over 3 weeks, keeping half the store open at all times. Phase 1, left side of the store. Phase 2, right side. It is chaos. Contractors and customers navigate around each other. The floor guys are laying vinyl while a woman does laundry 12 feet away. You lose about $4,000 in revenue during the renovation period from reduced capacity and customer disruption. When it is done, you stand in the doorway at 6 a.m. on a Monday and look at your store. New floor gleaming under LED lights, bright walls, clean machines with sleek card terminals, stainless steel folding tables that reflect the light, a fresh sign outside that glows blue and white. It does not look like the same place. It looks like a business someone is proud of. It looks like yours. Revenue the first full month after renovation, $28,100. You almost cannot believe it. That is a $6,900 monthly jump, not all from the renovation itself, but from the compounding effect of better equipment, higher prices, card payments, and a store that customers actually want to spend time in. Some customers tell you they started coming to your store because they saw the new sign from the road. Others say they came back after trying Fresh Spin. Wait, Fresh Spin does not exist yet. Not for another 11 days. Because 11 days after your renovation is complete, you get a letter in the mail that will test everything you have built. The letter is from a commercial real estate developer. He is building a new strip center 0.8 miles from your location, closer to the apartment complexes, with better parking, higher visibility from the main road, and a brand new 3,200 square foot space leased to a laundromat operator. You are about to have competition. Real competition. Not an old store across town, a brand new build, with brand new machines, designed from scratch, less than a mile away. Closer to your core customer base than you are. You feel it in your chest first, then your stomach. Then your head starts running scenarios. How much of your customer base will you lose? 20%? 30%? What if it is 50%? You just spent $64,000 on a renovation. You just quit your job. You have $94,000 in SBA debt, $50,000 in a seller note, and $40,000 in equipment loans. If you lose half your revenue,
you are underwater in 4 months. You do not sleep well that night, or the next night. You call 3 laundromat owners you have connected with through the CLA online forums. 2 of them tell you to worry. One of them, a guy named Phil, who runs 11 stores across 2 states, tells you something different. New competition is the best thing that can happen to you, Phil says. His voice is calm. He has been through this before, multiple times. It forces you to get serious about the part of this business that actually matters. You ask what that part is. Service, Phil says. Machines wash clothes. Anybody with money can buy machines. Service is the moat. You do not fully understand what he means yet, but you will. In about 14 weeks, you will understand completely. The new competitor opens 14 weeks later. It is called Fresh Spin. It occupies a corner unit in the new strip center with floor-to-ceiling windows, a modern facade, and a parking lot twice the size of yours. Inside, brand new machines, 40 washers and 30 dryers, bright lighting, free Wi-Fi, a vending machine stocked with premium detergent pods, a flat-screen TV mounted on the wall tuned to ESPN, and a children's play area with a miniature table and coloring books. The pricing is aggressive, $3.25 per top-load wash, $5.00 per front load. That is 15 to 20% below your prices, which are already at market rate. The first week Fresh Spin opens, your revenue drops 22%. The second week, 28%. Customers are trying the new place because it is new, because it is shiny, because it is cheaper, and because humans are naturally curious about new things. By the end of Fresh Spin's first month of operation, your monthly revenue is down to $19,800, below where you were before the renovation. Your $64,000 investment feels like it evaporated overnight. Your wife does not say anything, but you see her checking the bank account on her phone more often. You catch her awake at 2 a.m. once, sitting in the kitchen, doing math on a notepad. She does not share the math with you, and you do not ask. You drive past Fresh Spin twice a day on your commute to the store. The parking lot is full. Their machines are new Maytag commercial units, a tier below your Dexter's but solid equipment. The store is clean because it is new, and nothing has been used hard enough to get dirty yet. What Fresh Spin does not have is staff. It is fully unattended. No employee on site. No one to help when a machine jams. No one to keep the bathroom clean. No one to fold your clothes or answer your questions or notice when someone leaves their bag behind. Just a phone number printed on a laminated card taped to the wall next to the change machine. You sit in your store one evening after close, Ray gone for the night, and you think about Phil's word: service. What would it look like to compete not on price, not on machines, not on square footage or parking or Wi-Fi, but on something a brand new, fully unattended, investor-owned laundromat cannot replicate, no matter how much money they spend? You have been thinking about wash and fold service for months. The idea is simple. Instead of customers doing their own laundry, they drop it off. You wash, dry, and fold it, and they pick it up later. You charge by the pound. In 2026, the going rate for wash and fold in your market is $1.75 to $2.25 per pound. A typical customer drops off 15 to 25 pounds per visit. That is $26 to $56 per transaction, compared to $8 to $15 for self-service.
the difference is transformative. The margins are different. Self-service is 55 to 65% gross margin. The customer does the labor, you provide the machine and utilities. Wash and fold is 35 to 45% gross margin because you are paying for labor. But the revenue per customer is 3 to 4 times higher, and wash and fold customers are stickier. Once someone starts dropping off their laundry, they rarely go back to doing it themselves.
It is like going from flying economy to first class. Technically unnecessary, practically irreversible. You need someone who can process laundry fast, correctly, and with the kind of care that makes customers trust a stranger with their underwear. You post a job listing. You get 20 applications. You interview 6. You hire Maria. Maria is 41. She worked at a dry cleaner for 6 years before it closed when the owner retired. She is fast. She can sort, wash, dry and fold 40 pounds per hour, which is twice what a new hire can do. She is precise. She reads care labels, separates colors from whites, checks pockets before loading, and folds each item like it is going into a display case. She is obsessive about sorting in a way that would be annoying in a person, but is a superpower in a laundry processor. You pay her $16 an hour, which is above market for your area. Ray thinks you are overpaying. You think you are investing. You dedicate 4 of your front loaders and 6 dryers to wash and fold. You set the price at $1.85 per pound with a £15 minimum. Turnaround time: same day if dropped off before noon, next morning otherwise. You buy a commercial garment rack, a folding station with sorting bins, and 100 clear poly bags in 3 sizes. Marketing is simple. You print 500 door hangers at a local print shop for $120 and spend 2 Saturday mornings hitting every apartment complex within a mile on foot. The message: too busy to do laundry? Drop it off. We will handle it. $1.85 per pound. Same day service. The first week, you get 3 customers. Total weight, 52 pounds. Revenue, $96.20. You and Maria look at each other and wonder if this was a mistake. The second week, 7 customers. Third week, 11. By the end of the first month, you are processing £800 per week. That is $1,480 in weekly wash and fold revenue, or roughly $6,400 per month. Here is the part that surprises you. The wash and fold customers also start using your self-service machines. They come in to drop off their work clothes, see the clean store and new equipment, and the friendly attendant at the counter. And they come back on the weekend to do their own overflow laundry. The bulky items, the bedding, the stuff that is too big for the £15 minimum. Wash and fold is not just a revenue stream, it is a customer acquisition channel. By the end of month 2, your total monthly revenue has recovered to $26,800, higher than your pre-fresh spin peak. The competitor is still there, still busy, still cheaper. But you are growing because you are offering something they cannot match without hiring staff, building infrastructure, and fundamentally changing their business model. And their business model is built on the premise that laundromats do not need staff. Remember Phil's comment about service being the moat? You are starting to understand. An unattended laundromat competes on price and location. An attended laundromat with wash and fold competes on value.
And value is a wider moat than price will ever be, because price can be undercut, but value has to be built. Now, about Diane. You have been wondering about her since Chapter 1. Here is her story. She has been doing her laundry at your store since before you bought it. 4 loads every Thursday, like clockwork. She is in her early 60s, retired from something you have never asked about, and she always brings a paperback novel that she reads while her clothes wash and dry. She sits in the same chair, the one by the window, second from the left. She folds with geometric precision. She has never once left clothes unattended in a machine. One Thursday, about 10 months into your ownership, Diane mentions casually, while folding a towel, that she manages a small apartment building, 16 units. The building has a shared laundry room in the basement with 2 ancient machines that break constantly. The tenants hate them. The maintenance guy hates them more because he is the one who has to deal with service calls and flooding and angry tenants at 11 p.m. "You should put your machines in there," Diane says, not looking up from the towel. "I would do my laundry in the building if the machines did not smell like mildew." You smile and nod and change the subject. You're busy thinking about the fresh spin problem and the wash and fold launch and a dryer that has been making a grinding sound for 2 days and whether you can afford to hire a second employee. You file Diane's comment in the same mental folder where you keep things people say that sound interesting but are not actionable right now. Diane mentions it again 3 weeks later. This time, she is more specific. "The building owner is tired of dealing with those machines. He has been talking about ripping them out entirely. He would let someone else take over the laundry room. He just wants the problem to go away." You nod again. You are still not listening. Not because you are rude or dismissive, but because you are a new business owner drowning in operational details, and you cannot see past the next fire to the opportunity standing right in front of you, holding a towel. The 3rd time Diane brings it up, she hands you a business card. "This is my building owner, Frank Turano. Call him. Tell him I sent you. He is ready to talk." She places the card on the counter next to the register, looks you in the eye, and says, "I am telling you this for the 3rd time because I think you need to hear it 3 times. This time, something clicks. Not because Diane is more persuasive the 3rd time, but because the universe has been preparing you. You read an article in the CLA magazine the previous week about route laundry, placing machines in apartment buildings, dorms, senior living facilities, and other multi-housing properties. The article described it as the most underserved and highest margin segment of the laundry industry. Route machines generate $200 to $500 per month each, require minimal oversight, a weekly check and occasional service calls, and the property owner usually provides the space rent-free in exchange for a revenue split. Typically 20 to 30% to the building owner, 70 to 80% to the machine operator. You call Frank Turano that evening. Frank Turano is practical and tired. He is 67, owns 4 apartment buildings totaling 82 units, and has been dealing with laundry room headaches for 15 years. His 2 basement washers in Diane's building are from 2011. One leaks from the door seal, the other has a drum that sounds like a garbage disposal when it spins. The tenants complain monthly. His maintenance guy, a man named Hector, who handles everything from clogged toilets to broken windows across all 4 buildings, spends 2 to 3 hours a week on laundry machine issues.
Frank has gotten 3 quotes from national laundry service companies, the big operators who place machines in buildings across the country. They all want a 50-50 revenue split and a 7-year exclusive contract. Frank does not like the terms. He especially does not like 7 years. You offer him this. You install 4 new Speed Queen top loaders and 4 dryers. You maintain them. You handle all service calls, all coin collection, all cleaning. Revenue split? 75-25 in your favor. Term? 3 years with auto-renewal. He provides the space, the water hookups, and the electrical connections. If a machine breaks, you fix it or replace it within 48 hours. Frank agrees in 15 minutes. He does not negotiate the split. He does not ask for references. He just wants the problem solved, and you are the person standing in front of him offering to solve it. Sometimes business is that simple. Your equipment cost for Diane's building, $14,200. 4 Speed Queen top loaders at $1,600 each. 4 commercial dryers at $1,950 each. You finance it through your equipment lender. The machines go in on a Saturday. You and a plumber spend 8 hours connecting water lines, drainage, venting for the dryers, and electrical. By Monday morning, the tenants are using them. The old machines sit outside by the dumpster, rusted and defeated. Revenue from that single location in the first month, $1,800. After Frank's 25% cut, $450, and utilities, which Frank covers as part of building overhead, your net is $1,350 per month. Your equipment cost was $14,200. That is a 114% annual return on investment. No additional rent, no additional insurance, minimal labor. You check the machines once a week, collect the coins, clean up, and handle occasional service calls. And here is the part that changes your entire trajectory. Frank Turano owns 3 other buildings. He introduces you to 2 more building owners he knows from the local Property Management Association. One owns a 24-unit complex. The other owns 2 buildings totaling 38 units. Within 4 months, you have machines in 5 multi-housing locations, 20 washers and 20 dryers across 5 buildings. Combined monthly revenue, $8,200. After landlord splits, your net is $6,200 per month. Root Laundry. You almost missed it 3 times because you were not listening to a woman folding towels on a Thursday afternoon. Now think about this for a moment. How many business opportunities have walked into your life disguised as a casual conversation you did not take seriously? How many times has someone offered you something valuable and you were too distracted by the crisis of the day, too focused on the problem right in front of your face to hear it? Diane's suggestion was worth $74,400 a year in net revenue. She literally handed it to you across a folding table, and you said no. Twice. We are back to where we started. 14 months of ownership. 4:47 a.m. on a Tuesday in November. 2 inches of brown water on the floor. The smell of wet concrete and ozone from the sparkling washer motor. The water main crack is under the foundation, which means the repair requires cutting into the concrete slab, excavating down to the pipe, fixing the break, backfilling, and repouring. Your contractor, a guy named Sal, who has been doing commercial plumbing for 30 years, walks the store with you that morning and delivers the estimate with the expression of a doctor delivering bad news. 10 days minimum.
more likely 12 to 14. Cost $38,000 for the complete job, including concrete, plumbing, and a basic floor replacement. Your insurance company says they will send an adjuster. They do not say when. You have two choices: close for 10 to 14 days and lose $6,500 to $7,000 in revenue while still paying rent, loan payments, Ray's wages, and Maria's wages. Or find a way to stay partially open during the repair.
You choose option 3, which does not exist until you invent it at 6 a.m. while standing in 2 inches of water and drinking coffee from the gas station because your back office is flooded too. Within 48 hours, you rent a 20 by 30 commercial pop-up tent from an event company for $1,200 for 2 weeks. You run water lines from the Chinese restaurant next door. Their owner, Mr. Chen, agrees in exchange for free laundry for his kitchen staff for a year, which will cost you roughly $2,400 in machine time and labor, but saves you $3,000 in temporary plumbing. You run an extension cord from the store's outdoor electrical panel, which mercifully was not affected by the flood. You set up 6 of your top loaders and 4 dryers on wooden pallets in the parking lot under the tent. It is not elegant. It is not up to code. It is borderline insane. You have a conversation with yourself about liability, about what happens if a machine tips over in the parking lot, about whether your insurance covers a laundromat operating under a tent. You do it anyway. But it works. Customers show up on day 1. Some of them laugh out loud. A few take photos and videos. One of them, a young woman named Keisha, posts a video on social media with the caption, "My laundromat is in the parking lot, and I have never loved a business more." The video gets 4,200 shares and 127,000 views. People from 3 counties away drive to your laundromat to see the parking lot setup, do a load of laundry, and take a selfie next to a washing machine sitting on a pallet under a tent. Your Google reviews go from 3.8 stars to 4.6 stars in 2 weeks. People post things like, "This owner cares more about his customers than any business I have ever been to," and "If they can figure out how to stay open with their floor torn out, imagine what the store is like when things are normal." You lose about $3,200 in revenue during the repair period, instead of the projected $7,000. More importantly, you keep your customers. Every single regular comes back after the store reopens. Several of them tell you they thought about going to Fresh Spin while you were closed and decided not to because, and this is a direct quote from a customer named Marcus, "they just have machines over there, no people." The repair takes 13 days. Total cost $38,000 after concrete, plumbing, and basic floor replacement. Your insurance company sends an adjuster on day 8. He approves a claim for $29,000. The remaining $9,000 comes out of your pocket. But remember those 2 decisions your wife argued against until 1 a.m.? The parking lot laundromat was one of them. Here is the other one. While your store floor is torn up for the water main repair, you make a decision that goes against every piece of conventional wisdom in the laundromat business. You expand your wash and fold capacity, while the floor is already destroyed. Here is your logic, and it is the kind of logic that sounds either brilliant or delusional, depending on whether it works. The concrete slab has to be recut and repoured anyway. Sal, the plumber, is already on site. His crew is already mobilized. For an additional $11,000, you can run new drainage lines,
Add 2 more floor drains. Reconfigure the back third of the store with a reinforced subfloor and create a dedicated wash and fold processing area. Commercial folding tables with built-in sorting bins. A garment rack system for hang-dry items. A separate customer drop-off counter with a scale and a ticket printer. Your wife says you are throwing money into a hole, literally into the hole in the floor where the water main was. She reminds you that you are already financing $40,000 in renovation loans, $14,200 in initial root equipment, and now absorbing $9,000 in out-of-pocket flood costs. Your total debt across all loans is $142,000. You are leveraged. One more bad month and the math stops working. But you have the numbers, and the numbers are clear. Wash and Fold is generating $6,400 per month and growing 8 to 10% monthly. You are turning customers away, literally telling people that Maria cannot take their order today because she is at capacity. The constraint is not demand. Demand is growing. The constraint is capacity. You do not have enough space, enough machines, or enough folding surface to process the volume during peak hours.
If you double capacity, you can double revenue. If you double revenue, the additional $11,000 pays for itself in under 5 months. You do it. Your wife does not speak to you about business for 3 days, which in your marriage is the equivalent of a formal protest. When the store reopens after 13 days of repair and expansion, it is a different business. Not just physically, structurally. You now have 3 revenue streams operating in a single location, plus a 4th operating across 5 apartment buildings. 1. Self-service laundry. Customers use your machines, pay by card, do their own work. Revenue, $18,000 to $20,000 per month. Margin, 60%. This is your foundation, steady and predictable. 2. Wash and fold. Customers drop off dirty clothes. You wash, dry, fold, and bag them. They pick up clean clothes. Revenue, $11,400 per month and climbing. Margin, 38% after labor. This is your growth engine. 3. Route laundry. Your machines sitting in apartment building basements across 5 locations, generating revenue while you are not there. Revenue, $6,200 per month net after landlord splits. Margin, 72%. This is your highest margin stream because there is no rent and minimal labor. 4. Ancillary revenue. Detergent sales, vending, and the occasional commercial account. A restaurant sends tablecloths. A hair salon sends towels. Revenue, $2,000 per month. Small but profitable and growing. Combined monthly revenue, $37,600. Combined monthly expenses, $24,800. Rent at $3,200. Utilities at $8,400. Labor at $7,600 for Ray plus Maria plus James. Loan payments at $3,100. Insurance at $480. Supplies at $820. Maintenance reserve at $1,200. Net monthly income, $12,800. Annualized net, $153,600. You went from $59,000 in year 1 to $153,600 18 months later. Not by working harder, you actually work fewer hours now than you did at the beginning. You grew by working on the right things.
by identifying the highest return opportunities and executing them, instead of optimizing the lowest value tasks. But here is what you learn about scaling. Every layer of growth creates a new set of problems that the previous version of you does not know how to solve. At $59,000, your biggest problem was fixing machines and mopping floors. At $153,000, your biggest problems are hiring, scheduling, quality control, cash flow management, and figuring out how to be in 5 places at once when you are one person. The business has outgrown the one-person-does-everything model. You need systems, and systems start with people. Maria is excellent. Ray is reliable. James, the new part-timer, is adequate but growing. But you need more people, and the labor market for laundromat attendants is tough. The job is physical. 8 hours on your feet, loading and unloading machines that weigh 20 to 60 pounds per load, folding clothes for hours, cleaning floors and machines, handling cash and cards, dealing with the occasional difficult customer. The pay range for your market is $14 to $17 an hour, and you are competing for workers with fast food restaurants that offer similar pay plus employee meals, retail stores that offer air conditioning and employee discounts, and warehouse operations that offer higher base wages and benefits. You post on Indeed. You get 42 applications. 12 show up for interviews. You hire 3. 2 quit within the first month. 1 found a closer commute. 1 decided weekends were a deal breaker. The third, a young guy named Devon, turns out to be good. He is 23, he shows up on time, he learns fast, and he treats the machines with respect, which matters more than you would think. You realize that hiring for a laundromat is not about finding people who need a job. It is about finding people who take pride in doing physical work well. Maria has this quality. She does not just fold clothes, she folds them correctly, and the distinction matters to her. Ray has it. He maintains the machines not because you told him to, but because it offends him when a machine does not work. Devon has it. The people who quit did not. You change your approach. Instead of posting on job boards, you ask Maria and Ray if they know anyone. Employee referrals are the oldest recruiting trick and also the most effective in a service business. Maria brings in her sister-in-law, Linda. Ray brings in a guy from his church named Terence. Both are good. They show up knowing what the job entails because the person who referred them told them the truth, not a job posting optimized for clicks. You also raise wages, $16 to $18 an hour, depending on experience, plus a bonus tied to wash and fold pounds processed per hour. Maria is now making $19 an hour, plus bonuses that push her total to $22 per hour. She processes £50 an hour, which means her labor cost is $0.44 per pound on a product you sell for $1.85 per pound. She is worth every cent, and she knows it, which is why she has not looked for another job in 10 months. Here is something nobody warns you about in any laundromat business plan, any industry guide, any forum post. Your customers are ruining their clothes, and it is costing you money. They use too much detergent. A single load washer needs about 1 tablespoon of modern, high-efficiency detergent. Your customers pour in half a cup, sometimes more, creating a foam explosion that coats the drum, clogs the drain filter, and leaves a residue on clothes that makes them feel stiff and smell like a chemical plant.
They mix bleach with colors. They wash dark jeans with white towels. They put items labeled dry clean only into your hottest washer set to heavy soil. They overload machines with 30 pounds of wet denim, underload dryers so clothes take 3 cycles to dry, and use fabric softener in quantities that would lubricate a diesel engine. For self-service, this is largely their problem. If a customer shrinks their own sweater, that is their learning experience. But for wash and fold, it becomes your problem. Because when you process someone's laundry and something goes wrong, a stain does not come out, a shirt shrinks, colors bleed from one garment to another, you are responsible. Even if the garment was already damaged when they dropped it off. Even if the stain was set before they brought it to you. The customer does not care about the timeline of the stain. They care that they gave you a shirt and it came back wrong. You institute a check-in process after the 3rd damage claim in 2 months. Every wash and fold order gets inspected at drop-off. Maria notes existing stains, tears, missing buttons, and any special care instructions on a tag attached to each bag. Customers sign a simple form acknowledging the condition of their items. It takes about 5 minutes per order and reduces your damage claims by 80%. It also builds trust. Customers see that you are examining their clothes carefully, noting details, treating their belongings with professionalism. You also start selling detergent at the counter, not the cheap powder from the vending machine, actual quality detergent in pre-measured pods, $1.50 each. You buy them wholesale for $0.38 per pod. Small revenue, but it solves the overuse problem for self-service customers who buy your pods instead of bringing a gallon jug from home. It also creates a touch point. Every pod sale is a conversation, and every conversation is a chance to build the relationship that keeps a customer coming back. The detergent pods generate $940 per month in revenue and extend the life of your machines because customers stop flooding the drums with excess soap. Over the course of a year, you estimate this saves you $2,000 to $3,000 in pump and drain repairs. Small detail, compounding effect. That is the laundromat game, every single day. 20 months into ownership, you add a 4th revenue stream at the main store, pickup and delivery. You partner with Sense, a laundry management platform that provides white-labeled mobile apps for laundromat operators. Monthly cost, $350 for the plan that includes mobile ordering, customer accounts, scheduling, and route management. Not cheap, but dramatically less than custom software. The app lets wash and fold customers schedule pickups and deliveries from their phone. They select preferences, cold wash, no fabric softener, fold versus hang, and pay through the app. James, who has been splitting time between in-store work and route machine maintenance, becomes your delivery driver. You buy a used minivan for $6,200, an investment that pays for itself in 3 months. Pickup and delivery opens a customer segment you could not reach before. Time-starved professionals who will not drive to a laundromat because they associate laundromats with their broke college years. But they will happily pay someone to pick up their laundry bag from their porch, process it, and return it folded and bagged. These customers are less price-sensitive and significantly more loyal than walk-in customers. Average order, £22 at $2.10 per pound. The delivery premium. Average monthly spend per delivery customer, $185. Within 3 months, you have 62 regular delivery customers. Monthly delivery revenue, $11,470. After James's delivery wages and gas, net margin is 32%. Not as high as self-service or route, but higher than walk-in wash and fold, because delivery customers order more frequently and in larger volumes. Your total monthly revenue is now $49,070 across all streams. Self-service at $18,600, wash and fold walk-in at $12,800, route machines at $6,200, and delivery at $11,470. You are running a laundromat that does almost $590,000 a year. The store you bought for $235,000 18 months ago is now valued at roughly $700,000 based on the industry standard earnings multiple. How does it feel to know that your business tripled in value, not because of some brilliant invention or proprietary technology, but because you fixed broken things, listened to a woman folding towels, set up a tent in a parking lot, and answered a phone call you did not want to answer? 24 months into ownership, a laundromat comes up for sale 6 miles from your location. Smaller, 1,800 square feet, 18 washers, 14 dryers. The owner is burned out. Asking price, $165,000. You are tempted. Phil, the 11-store operator, has been telling you that multi-unit is where the real money is. Your first store teaches you the business. Your second store teaches you the systems. Your third store teaches you how to get out of the way. But you do the math, and you hesitate. The second store is in a worse location, less dense housing, more competition nearby, lower income demographics. The equipment is old and needs replacing. The store itself needs renovation. All in, you're looking at $215,000 to acquire and fix up. Projected revenue, $14,000 to $16,000 per month. Net after expenses and debt service, maybe $5,500 per month. A 31% cash-on-cash return, which would make most real estate investors weep with joy. But your first store nets $18,200 per month. Investing the same $215,000 into expanding your route business or scaling delivery would likely generate a higher return with less operational complexity. You pass on the deal. This is one of the hardest decisions you've made, because saying no to growth feels wrong. Every business book, every podcast, every mentor tells you that growth is the goal. But growth for the sake of growth is just complexity. Growth that maximizes return on capital and management attention. That is strategy. Phil calls you when he hears you passed. Smart, he says. Most people buy the second store because they are bored, not because they have maximized the first one. Are you bored? You are not bored. You are barely keeping up. Freshspin, the new laundromat that opened 0.8 miles away, is struggling. Here is what happened. Freshspin opened with low prices to capture market share. That worked for 6 months. They were new, clean, cheap, and located closer to the apartments than you are. Customers tried them because trying something new costs nothing but time. But Freshspin had no service component, no attendant on site, no wash and fold, no customer relationships. Their machines were maintained by a service company that came once a month on contract, checked the basics, and left.
Between visits, problems accumulated.
One of their large front loaders has been displaying an error code for 3 weeks. The service company is not scheduled until next Friday. 2 of their dryers vent poorly because the ductwork was installed by a contractor who did not specialize in laundry venting, and lint buildup is reducing heating efficiency. Their change machine has been broken for 2 weeks. There is no one on site to clean up the puddle from the washer with the bad door seal, or to notice that the bathroom has run out of soap, or to intervene when a customer starts an argument. A woman was verbally harassed in their parking lot at 8 p.m. on a Wednesday. She called the phone number taped to the wall. Nobody answered. She posted about the experience online. Fresh Spin's Google rating dropped from 4.3 to 3.1 in 4 months. The 1-star reviews all say some version of the same thing. Nobody is here, nobody cares. The machines break, and nobody fixes them. Fresh Spin's owner is an investor who lives 400 miles away. He bought the business as a passive income play after watching a YouTube video about how laundromats are the best semi-passive investment in America. He hired a management company to handle operations. The management company does the minimum required by their contract, which turns out to be nowhere near enough to run a business that serves the public 16 hours a day. A laundromat is not passive income. It is active income that looks passive to people who do not own one. The machines are passive. Everything around the machines, the cleaning, the maintenance, the customer service, the safety, the atmosphere, requires human attention. Remove the humans and the store degrades, slowly at first, then all at once. Your revenue has not just recovered from the Fresh Spin shock, it is higher than it would have been without them. The customers who left for Fresh Spin's low prices came back when they realized that price is not value. A $3.25 wash is not cheap if the machine does not drain properly and your clothes come out smelling like stagnant water. A $4.25 wash is a bargain if the machine works perfectly, the store is clean, and there is a person at the counter who greets you by name. Let us look at where you are 24 months after buying a rundown laundromat for $235,000. Monthly revenue breakdown. Self-service, $19,200, that is 39% of total. Wash and fold walk-in, $13,600, that is 28%. Route machines across 7 locations, $7,800, that is 16%. Pickup and delivery, $8,600, that is 17%. Total, $49,200. Monthly expenses. Rent, $3,400, lease renewed with a 6% increase. Utilities, $9,100 for water, gas and electric. Labor, $11,200 for Ray, Maria, Devon, James, plus 2 part-timers. Loan payments, $3,400 across SBA, seller note, and equipment loans. Insurance, $520. Supplies and detergent cost, $1,100. Maintenance reserve, $1,400. App and technology, $480. Delivery vehicle, $650. Marketing, $300. Miscellaneous, $600. Total expenses, $32,150. Net monthly income, $17,050. Annualized, $204,600. Your total capital deployed,
$235,000 purchase, plus $64,000 renovation, plus $14,200 initial route equipment, plus $31,000 additional route equipment, plus $11,000 flood expansion, plus $9,000 flood out-of-pocket, plus $6,200 delivery van. Total $370,400. Annual return on total capital 55%. Hours per week you spend in the store 25, down from 56 months ago. Maria manages the wash and fold operation. Ray manages the self-service floor. Devon handles route machine maintenance. James does deliveries. Linda and Terence cover shifts. You manage the managers, handle the finances, negotiate with landlords for new route locations, and think about growth. You went from working in the business to working on the business. That transition took 14 months and required you to trust other people with something you built with your own hands, which is harder than any financial calculation. 2 years in, here is what you know that you did not know when you were sitting in Carlos the barber's chair listening to a story about his cousin. 1. The laundromat business is not about laundry. It is about trust. Customers hand you their most personal possession, their clothes, the underwear, the work uniforms, the baby blankets, the funeral suit that only comes out twice a decade. They trust you with it. If you betray that trust by being careless, by delivering stained shirts, by being closed when you said you would be open, they leave and they do not come back. Trust is not built by machines. It is built by people. Your people. 2. Equipment is a commodity. Anyone with a loan can buy a Dexter or a Speed Queen or a Maytag. The difference between a profitable laundromat and a failing one is not the brand of washer on the floor. It is what happens around the machine. Is the store clean? Is there a person to help when the machine eats a card? Is there somewhere to sit that does not feel like a bus station? Is the bathroom stocked? Is the parking lot lit? Those details are not details. They are the entire business. 3. Your competitors are not other laundromats. Your real competitors are the washing machine in your customer's future apartment and the day they buy a house with a laundry room. Every laundromat customer is, statistically, a temporary customer. Some stay for years, some for months. Your job is to make the experience good enough that they stay as long as possible and tell their friends to come too. And if you do it well enough, if the wash and fold is good enough, if the delivery is convenient enough, some of them will keep using you even after they get their own washer and dryer. Because convenience, once experienced, is hard to give up. 4. The money is in the service, not the machines. Your self-service revenue has been flat for 8 months, at roughly $19,000 per month. Your wash and fold, route and delivery revenue has grown 60% in the same period. The machines are the platform. Service is the product, and the product is what people pay a premium for. 5. Location matters less than you think, and operations matter more than anyone admits. FreshSpin has a better location than you do, better parking, better visibility, closer to the densest cluster of apartments. They are struggling because they are running a vending machine, not a business. You are thriving in a worse location because you are running a service operation that happens to use washing machines. 6. You will never feel caught up. There is always a machine making a noise you do not like. There is always a customer complaint to address. There is always a new competitor rumor, a rent increase letter, a utility rate hike notice. The business does not reach a steady state where everything is perfect and you can relax. It reaches a rhythm, and your job is to keep that rhythm steady while gradually improving the tempo. 7. The hardest part is not the water or the machines or the competition. The hardest part is the 4:47 a.m. phone calls. The floor that needs mopping after a 12-hour day. The customer who screams at Maria over a shirt she did not shrink. The knowledge that if you take a week off, small things will slip. It is not glamorous. It is not the stuff of magazine profiles. It is a business built on quarters and lint traps and the steady, grinding work of showing up every single day and doing the small things that nobody notices until you stop doing them. 8. The business will teach you things about yourself that no job, no school, and no mentor could. It will teach you that you are more resourceful than you thought because you set up a laundromat in a parking lot. It will teach you that you are a worse listener than you thought because Diane told you 3 times. It will teach you that the gap between knowing something intellectually and knowing it in your bones is about 2 years of actually doing it. You knew on day 1 that customer service mattered. You did not truly understand what that meant until you watched Fresh Spin fail with better machines in a better location because they thought machines were the business. 9. The numbers matter, but they are not the whole story. Your spreadsheet will tell you that Wash and Fold generates $13,600 per month at a 38% margin. What it will not tell you is that Mrs. Patterson comes in every Monday with her husband's work uniforms because he works construction and she wants him to leave the house looking clean, and she trusts Maria to get the concrete dust out of the knees because Maria figured out that a cold pre-soak with baking soda works better than hot water. The spreadsheet cannot capture the value of that trust, but it shows up in Mrs. Patterson's lifetime customer value, which is $2,220 per year, every year, for as long as her husband works construction. But here is the thing about those quarters. They add up. $4,200 per day. $29,400 per week. $127,400 per month. They add up into college funds and retirement accounts, and the kind of financial security you could never achieve working in someone else's warehouse, executing someone else's strategy, optimizing someone else's supply chain. You wake up at 5:30 a.m. on a Wednesday, 2 years and 2 days after you signed the purchase agreement in the broker's office, with sweaty palms and a dry mouth. You drive to the store. The route takes 14 minutes. You have driven it so many times that you do not think about the turns anymore. Your hands know the wheel. Ray is already there. He always beats you by 10 minutes, a fact that bothers him in a way that is half competitive and half affectionate. The store is clean because Ray cleaned it before you arrived, the way he has cleaned it every morning for 9 years, across 2 owners. The machines are running. A woman you have never seen before is folding a comforter on one of the stainless steel tables you installed during the renovation. 2 teenagers are sitting in the plastic chairs by the window, watching a video on a phone propped between them while their clothes dry. The card terminals are blinking green. Maria arrives at 7 a.m. with a coffee for you, which she does every Wednesday
because she says Wednesday is the day you look like you need it most. She starts processing the overnight wash and fold orders. There are 14 bags stacked neatly on the shelf behind the counter, each tagged with a customer name and order number. She has them sorted and in machines by 7:20 a.m. James calls in from his first delivery run. 4 pickups, 2 drop-offs. He will be back by 9 a.m. You check the Spider Wash dashboard on your phone. All 38 self-service machines are operational. No error codes. The new route location at the senior living community on Oak Street did $380 last week, above projection. The cart system processed $4,200 yesterday across the main store. You sit at the counter and open your laptop. There are emails from 2 more apartment building owners who heard about your route program from Frank Turano. One of them manages a 48-unit complex with a shared laundry room that currently has 4 machines from 2009. That is potentially 8 washers and 8 dryers, roughly $4,000 per month in new revenue. Outside, the sun is coming up over the strip mall parking lot. The dollar store next door will not open for 3 hours. Mr. Chen is already in his kitchen at the Chinese restaurant, and you can smell garlic through the shared wall. Gerald, the man who sleeps in the parking lot on Thursday nights, is walking past with a cup of coffee from the gas station across the street. He nods at you through the window. You nod back. This is a laundromat. This is your laundromat. And it is your entire business. You would not trade it for anything. You are the owner of a laundromat, and that is your entire business.